This is Valley News Live at noon.
New for you at noon. 3 people are now in jail following an ongoing investigation related to the sale and use of controlled substances. Cass County Sheriff's Office says it happened yesterday when deputies conducted a traffic stop and search in rural Pine River, Minnesota. 43-year-old Teresa Med was arrested for violating conditions of her prison release. 49-year-old William Stamana was arrested for having a large amount of methamphetamines in his possession, and 47-year-old Sherry Stamana was also arrested on drug possession and child endangerment charges. Well, the Arctic air is here to stay for a while. We keep continuing to remind you that layers is essential and you shouldn't show any exposed skin in this cold. Let's check in with forecaster Summer Snellbox. She'll tell you all about it. Hey, Summer.
Hey, Brian. Especially on a day like today, the air temperature, if you check your Valley News Live weather app, you'll see that they're a little warmer than the last couple of days, but the wind is what is biting us today. Here's a live look at our Dakota Magic Casino Skycam down in Hankinson, North Dakota, along the North Dakota-South Dakota border. And those flags are whipping. It is quite a breezy day out there. Currently, the wind in Jamestown is sustained out of the west at 23 miles per hour, gusting to 32 miles per hour. A gust of 31 in Devil's Lake, a gust to 28 in Grand Forks. So it has been a breezy day and will continue to be. But here's a look at our actual air temperatures at this hour. It's 3 below 0 under sunny skies in Fargo, a few clouds in Grand Forks, 6 below, 10 below at this hour in Thief River Falls, 8 below in Bemidji, and 11 below in Devil's Lake. But people are having fun with it. Take a look at this. This is from Rainy River, Ontario. Thank you to Mark Mast for sending this awesome shot in. I tried something like this when I was younger. I didn't get pictures quite that beautiful. Anyway, the wind chill headlines. Wind chill warning in the area shaded in purple and wind chill advisory in the areas shaded in blue that were set to expire today at noon have now been extended through Sunday for those bitter wind chills of 30 to 50 below. So Brian, we have much more cold air in store. We'll have a look at the latest 7-day forecast and, of course, your hour-by-hour planner for today coming up in just a few minutes.
I also have not tried to throw that water in the air yet. I'm afraid that I didn't do throwing sports, so I'm afraid of it hitting someone.
It's fun, but it's cold.
Okay, I'll be careful when I do it.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Summer. Well, drivers are being asked to use caution in an area north of Crookston over the next few days as crews clean up after a train derailment north of town. Now, the Polk County Sheriff's Office says the train derailed last night around 8 near Highway 75 and County Road 252, scattering rail cars along the tracks and ditch. 9 cars of the 14-car train jumped the tracks. Deputies say several were leaking non-hazardous material, but there is no concern for public safety at that time. There were no injuries. The Sheriff's Office is asking the public to use caution when driving on Highway 75 between 200th and 210th Streets Southwest because workers will be cleaning up the area and repairing the tracks in the upcoming days. Now, breaking news for you now, and it just came into our newsroom. Police are responding to a report of an active shooter at an Altina health clinic in Buffalo, Minnesota right now. An Altina representative confirmed there is an active shooter at the clinic in Buffalo. The Associated Press confirmed with police that there were multiple victims that were shot in the incident. Stick with Valley News Live as we work to gather more information on the breaking story. So North Dakota lawmakers are calling for legislators to begin meeting every year instead of every other year. Lawmakers have held regular sessions every other year since statehood. For decades, lawmakers have consistently rebuffed attempts to hold them annually, believing doing so would grow the government and turn lawmaking into a full-time job. But backers of a bipartisan bill that advocates annual meetings say it's finally time for change due to bigger budgets and increasingly more pressing issues, such as the coronavirus pandemic. A South Dakota judge has tossed out a voter-approved constitutional amendment legalizing recreational marijuana. Now, voters approved the amendment in November despite opposition from Governor Kristi Noem. Her administration supported a legal challenge from 2 law enforcement officers who argued that the amendment was technically flawed. Marijuana supporters argued the lawsuit was an effort to overturn the will of the people. Lawyers expect an appeal to the state Supreme Court. Possession of small amounts of marijuana had been set to become legal on July 1st. Of the more than 42 million coronavirus vaccines administered so far, fewer than 3 million have known to have gone to residents of long-term care facilities. Nursing homes account for more than 1/3 of all COVID deaths in the country. CBS's Jonathan Vigliani looks at the struggle to get vaccine doses at one residential care facility in Redwood City, California, and how a grocery chain stepped in to help.
Hi. Elisa Maliari-Tu is the executive director at Gordon Manor, responsible for the health and well-being of 58 residents. After COVID tore through her facility last year, she and her team enacted strict COVID protocols. They went about 7 months without a single case.
So to be clear, you're saying that since last spring, you've only had 2 residents test positive?
Right.
That's incredible.
Fear and the threat of coronavirus coming back in is definitely a motivator.
Gordon Manor enrolled in the federal government's vaccine program for long-term care facilities in October. But as that rollout stretched into January,
we had not received any communication whatsoever from anybody about when our turn was. It turns out that Safeway called, and Safeway was able to say, hi, we can come and do a clinic at your facility.
Finally, in late January, all but one of Gordon Manor's residents received their first dose of the vaccine before officials with the federal vaccination program even reached out. Among those vaccinated, 91-year-old Yolanda Baldini and 99-year-old Eunice Dalla Costa. They're sisters and roommates at Gordon Manor. On Monday, they got to visit outside with Yolanda's son, Dennis Baldini, for the first time since November.
Dennis, how relieved are you to know that your mother and your aunt are now vaccinated?
Oh, very relieved. Although, honestly, I think they're safer in here than I am out there.
And Maliari-Tu says every resident here will get their second dose later this month. She is relieved, but she says she still worries for seniors that are home alone without anyone in their corner fighting for their shot at the vaccine. Jonathan Vigliani, CBS News, Redwood City, California.
The city of West Fargo and the West Fargo Fire Department canceled their rapid testing community event for tomorrow due to cold temperatures. The event was previously scheduled from 10 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon and will not be rescheduled. But Fargo Cass Public Health will hold rapid COVID-19 screenings from 8 in the morning to 5 in the afternoon, Mondays through Fridays at Faith and Journey Lutheran Church. The community in Grand Forks is continuing to offer free mass screening using rapid antigen test and PCR testing this week. The first event goes from now until 5 in the afternoon at the UND High Performance Center. This event is for asymptomatic and symptomatic individuals. The next event will be on Saturday, February 13th from 12 in the afternoon to 3 in the afternoon at the Grand Cities Mall. This is a rapid antigen screening asymptomatic individuals. If a person tests negative, they should isolate at home immediately, and a case investigator will be in touch with them within 24 hours. Children can be tested if accompanied by a legal guardian. Uber and Walgreens team up to get people vaccinated. The rideshare company and the pharmacy giant are joining forces to get people who don't have a car or live near a pharmacy vaccinated. Uber will offer free rides to Walgreens stores and clinics for those who book an appointment and live in underserved parts of the country. The pilot program will start in Chicago, Atlanta, Houston, and El Paso. The partnership is part of a pledge Uber made in December to offer 10 million free or discounted rides to make sure transportation doesn't prevent people from getting the COVID-19 vaccine. Well, coming up at noon, health experts are looking for some dangerous side effects that may linger long after a COVID diagnosis. And the cold weather continues, so make sure to preheat your vehicles. Weather report up next with forecaster Summer Snowbach.